this is Shannon Elliott with Teachasana, and today we're going to talk about Utkatasana, chair pose, some of the common misalignments that we see and how to help better serve our students. So when we first come into chair pose, initially I really like to teach with the legs a bit apart for stability. So a way that we can kind of teach it, because the tendency would be when the legs are apart or together and people come in, and I'm just going to talk the legs first. The tendency is that we bend this way. So the knees come way forward of the ankles and we sit in our chair like this. Okay? And what we really want to emphasize is that the knees as best we can, right? So feet are straight, base of the second toe to the center of the ankle. And then as we bend the legs, it's more about taking the hips back, keeping the knees, again, as best we can over the ankles, hips back, curve the back, and lengthen the tailbone. So that when we take the hips back and the weight more, it's not that we want the weight more into the heels, but again, what will tend to happen is people go forward and the heels get really light. So we want to make sure we're grounded through all four corners of the feet, hips back, tailbone down, thighs down, so that this becomes the direction. And when you have feet together or apart, another tendency that you'll see is knees will knock in. So a good way to teach people where to hug from is to take the block between the inner thighs. Okay, when you take the block between the inner thighs, it gives them the something to connect to as to how to hug with the thighs and not the joints. So here, same idea, just talking legs for a moment, you squeeze the block and you can have them bow the torso forward but take the hips way back, curve the back, tailbone down, and then take the thighs down towards the floor. So for many people to get the thighs to 90 degrees, if that's what you're teaching, right, 90 degrees, you have to bow the torso forward, lift the belly, lift the shoulders, take the thighs down. And then we'll talk upper body separately, and then how to bring it together. And if you are teaching legs together, right, just to also be aware that the legs together, that same tendency, the knees sort of knock in for people. If people squeeze with their knees, we want to get them to avoid that. So legs together, absolutely fine, but we still want to work so that we're squeezing with the thighs. The knees stay squared over the ankles, and then we sit back and sit down. Okay. Something that will often happen in the upper body is the arms, right? So we get the legs all set, and people end up more something like this in the upper body, or they end up like this, but way up here, right? So once we get legs, we want to emphasize that it's sitting in a chair, so legs first. And then there are two ways that we can approach this. Okay, so cactus arms will keep the chest open. If you take the elbows a bit forward, shoulders back, heart open. Okay, so elbows forward, shoulders back, hollow out the armpits, heart open, sit. Straighter arms requires a greater degree of ability to align through the shoulders and to get that plug in. So thighs back, tailbone down, take the thighs down, arms forward. And if people want straight arms, this often, the hands will dump down. Okay, so let the hands dump down for a moment. Get them to lift the armpits up, and then keep the armpits lifted, then lift the arms. And as long as you can keep the thighs bent, then lift up Utkatasana. Okay, it's totally valid to reach forward, thighs down, and be more forward if you have that lift and opening in the heart. Okay, so thighs first, bend deep into your chair, and then address the arms. So as we come in, and we can do, maybe from this way would be the best way. Okay, so legs can be together, okay? And as we root back, we'll build the pose. Okay, so weight into the heels, and it's really that you want all four corners of the weight down. Tendency, we get light in the heels, knees go forward, okay? So alignment from start to finish. All four corners of the feet. Then as you sit back, right, that's really the direction. Sit back, curve the back, take the thighs down, tailbone down, right, thighs down. Okay, and you can get them to bow forward, but keep the belly lifted, thighs to 90 degrees, or as best you can. Right, cactus, elbows forward, shoulders back, open the heart, Arms, lift from the root, so armpits up, lift the arms, keep the thighs bent, lift up, Utkatasana. And then press down, bring yourself to stand. So thank you so much for visiting us today. Please leave any feedback, comments, questions. We love hearing from you. Enjoy. Namaste.